unreported cases and
Okay.
times when we're made to shut up and not say anything about it and keep quiet, and or things that are normalized. We talk about it in terms of both men and women, and certain things are even normalized or you just don't talk about it.
And that's your hottest 60 seconds this week from Evening Words on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
A private school education is possible for Philly kids. Children's Scholarship Fund Philadelphia, also known as CSFP, provides scholarships for children from under-resourced Philadelphia families to attend quality, safe K through 8th grade tuition-based schools. All scholarships are partial based on income and awarded via random lottery. All scholarships are funded through 8th grade. The scholarship lottery application is open from mid-September through March 1st. Families who apply in September will receive funds for the following school year. For more information, visit www.csfphiladelphia.org.
These days, my happy place feels a little happier, even if the fish aren't biting.
Mental health care is working for Diego. See what it can do for you at mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
WURD Radio is sharing a harvest for the world. Now through December 31st, visit wordradio.com to find information on upcoming Give Back events in the Philadelphia area. If your organization is hosting free clothing giveaways, food drives, free workshops, community dinners, and more, please share the details using the form on our website. Visit wordradio.com and look for the Harvest banner. It's harvest time, and we're sharing information on those giving back to the community. The Harvest is brought to you by Comcast, Pico, Keystone First, and the United Way. We are WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Celebrating 20 years of progressive Black Talk Media. This is WURD, 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online at wordradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on WURD Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter. L. What's that?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. I hope you are having a great day. Happy hump day to you. Happy Wednesday, October 11th to you. And happy birthday to you if you're celebrating a birthday. You know, Nick Steptoe and I, my illustrious producer, are always happy to have you join us. And today is no different. Today is no different. Before we get into anything, I want to send some healing energy to our beloved Will Downing, who's been a little under the weather. I did talk with him, though, family. I did. And he is on the mend, but I just definitely want to send him some healing energy. You know how that is. You know how it is. So, family, if you're on our socials, Let us know that you are out there and are ready to join the conversation. Or, you can even give us a call. And you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. You can even call us toll free. And you can do that by dialing 1-866-361-0900. So call us, comment, and let us know what's going on with you. For those of our family members whose spirits are just a little low today, I want you to know that I'm sending you some extra love and hugs. You hear me? Just on behalf of your tribe and your village, I just want you to know that you are not alone. You're not alone, family. You are never alone. I want to say hi. Say hello, hello, hello to some of our family members that are checking in. Malcolm. Hey there, Malcolm. You know what? You had me cracking up the other day. I said that Malcolm is something else. But hey there, Malcolm. I'm so happy to know that you are joining us. Always, always, always happy to know that you're here. Hey there, Steve. Steve Manning is with us as well. Steve, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. I am well. Thank you for asking. I will not complain. You won't hear one complaint from me. I hope that you are well too. How are you doing? How's everything with you? How's the family? All that good stuff. So, family, we have a lot going on today. But before I introduce you to our first guest tonight, I want to talk to you about some things I was reading. Y'all know how I do. I read these articles and they strike me. And then I say, okay, I need to talk to our family about it. So, first of all, the one thing we did not talk about was those bed bugs in France. I know we all like to travel and go abroad, but I don't know if you are familiar or if you're aware. Now, the story is not new. I think it was about a week or so ago that they were talking about these bed bugs in France. Y'all, I did not know just how severe this issue is. But I saw video. I just saw some video of it last night, and they were showing these bed bugs. They were, they were on people. They were on people's clothing, their bags, their handbags. They were on the subways. First of all, I didn't realize you could even see a bed bug. I thought it was microscopic. Don't even ask me. But in any event, I read this article and it read that bed bugs are making France anxious ahead of the 2024 Summer Olympics. I don't even know how they're talking about the Summer Olympics when I wouldn't be able to get to tomorrow without thinking about these bed bugs. But from what I read, they are everywhere you go in France, in the subway, at the movie theaters. They're on people's clothes, in their backpacks, their handbags. Like, just talking about it, just mentioning it is skeeving me. But I want you to be careful. At the core of what I'm saying is that I want you all to be careful. I know there's so much out here, so much going on out here. But just be careful, family. Just be careful. You hear me? And then I read this article today about 5 adults and 8 children that were taken to the hospital after a hazmat situation at a daycare center in North Whitehall Township. It read that first responders were on the scene of a hazmat situation at a daycare center in the Lehigh Valley. Medics were called to Kids Corner on Park Avenue in North Whitehall Township around 10:30 a.m. Today. Actually, state police say that 5 adults, along with 8 infants and toddlers, were taken to the hospital for symptoms including headaches and dizziness. Now, again, like I said, I don't know what is happening because there was a whole lot to this article. They were saying that they were going to have some people come out and test the air and everything. So, family, be careful. Be careful out here. You hear me? Be careful. I do want to go back to our socials and acknowledge some more of our family members that are checking in. Rashawn. Hi there, honey bunch. Rashawn Farrier, who is one of my beloveds as well. My boo. He shares no Paris or London for him. Wait a minute. What's going on in London? What did I miss? Fill me in. What's going on in London? I missed that because wait, tell me what's going on. What's going on? Malcolm is sharing that it is so creepy and is making his skin crawl. I know. That's what I said when I read it. I mean, y'all, listen. Again, there's just so much going on. But it really freaked me out to know that they're to that degree. Harry, hi there, Harry. Harry's checking in as well. And he shares that they're outside grilling and watching the Phillies and listening to WURD. I love it. Come on, Phillies. Come on, Phillies. I know what we're 2-1. Is it? No. We won. What is it? What is it? What is it? I can't remember. I was paying attention and then I lost count. I lost count. So help me, Harry. Help me, Harry. So, oh, wait a minute now. Rashawn shares that London has bed bugs as well. They're having Y'all, come on now. Wait, it's making me very uneasy. Y'all know how much I travel. That's scaring me. London is having a bedbug crisis as well. Oh, no. I do want to share that Nicole P, is checking in as well. Hello, beautiful. She's sharing love with the entire family, and she's checking in from Burbank, California. We love the love. And Rashawn is sharing that that bedbug situation in London is bad. Oh, come on now. See, and I'm supposed to be going to London. Harry, thank you for the update. Harry shares the score. He shares that it is 7-1. I've been meaning to ask y'all how many of our family members are sports fans, because y'all hear me joke from time to time about sports, but I like to stay up on things. I like to, you know. So, family, for those of you who are just joining us, know that you are always welcome. But you're tuned in to Love and Life right here on WURD with yours truly. And I'm talking with you about what's going on in this wonderful wide world of ours. I'm sharing some news stories that I came across and some things that are of concern to me. These bed bugs, y'all. I need for someone to get them under control. Okay, I don't know who, but I need somebody to get them under control. I'm going to take a moment to go to our phone lines. Oh, hey, Ron. It's one of our beloved family members who is checking in. Hey there, Ron. Thank you for calling.
Call my name. Somebody call my name. Tell 3 4 things. First of all, I'm noticing with the young people, a lot of them are having, breathing problems. I don't know if it's because of what they're smoking or something like that. So that's another thing that we want to be aware of, and that health is very important. I want you to tell Dr. Z to call me, because I want to be an inspiration to her. She left something on my answer machine the other day, left the number, something, when people call me on the number, sometimes I just delete it, just whatever. But tell Dr. Z to give me a call, please. I want to see what she said to me. What she said to me about her family member. She needs to speak with me. That lady, she called me on her business number. Of course, I asked for her to call me. I don't have a problem. But look how this universal thing works, to be uplifting to someone else. So, Dr. Z, call me tomorrow if I'm not able to call in tomorrow. But let me just say to you also, Cal, when you come into the light of knowledge, and you come into knowledge, and God bless you. Did you hear me talk the other day on the state of Israel? And I went back and gave the history from 1836 with Theodore Herzl, and gave the name of the president, the first president, Dr. Ralph Bunche. And this is what I'm saying with knowledge of what's happening today. It's good for us not only to have Black history, but to know history in particular. And when I sit with Elijah Muhammad people, matter of fact, one of the Abraham mother was the one that did me on the River Nile, and she does painting, and she did me on the River Nile, and so I'm just saying, but it's a wonderful thing, and because I am a very intuitive man, I don't have any institutions of indoctrination as far as many years in the colleges, and it's not to down anyone else. But the thing God has led me to be very intuitive. I always say this. I don't take anybody for granted, and I hope no one takes me for granted. Ron is an extremely intuitive man. I know that I see something the other day, and one man came another day. That's not some kind of like being crazy or something. If you say that you are a caring person or you are not. People could say, oh, the man crazy or something like that. But let me say this to you. Once you come into the light of knowledge, goodness don't have no trickery with it. It's called appreciative. And that's what I have experienced in my life. And they have made a better person out of me because other people had gifts they have given me. I don't give gifts to buy anything as far or do anything like that. I give my life of inspiration. And when I say this to you, ladies and gentlemen, I have a special spiritual aura about me from my childhood all the way up. And I'm saying that not because anytime I was able to persevere what happened in my life and turn out to be the type of person that I am, and many, it's hundreds of us out here. It says something like, because I'm very in tune. And every program you ever did, when you was on the air, when you was on the air before when you first came on, I can paraphrase everything you ever said on all your programs that you and the other gentlemen did. Yeah. And I want to give a little credit out to Donovan. Donovan, one night, Mr. Donovan, this lady called in, a very educated lady. She was extremely educated. So Donovan was interviewing her, and she was going through a metamorphosis. Donovan picked up what this woman was saying, and you know how Donovan can be. He can, maybe do a bit of humor, but he's a very intelligent. And when I looked at that, and he listened to what that lady was saying, here this woman had degrees and stuff and all like that, but she was on Donovan's show, and I want to thank Donovan for being so sensitive in that area because he changed you know how Donovan talking like you'd read. And Donovan, he changed it over, and guess what happened? I listened to the rest of the program. And near the end of the program, that was the cure. That was the beginning of the cure to that lady's situation in her life. I looked at that. I pick up those things. I just want to thank all the givers. And when one gives, and all you educated people that you have, that y'all do have educators and have education, you have an obligation to give back sensitivity to the people. The color speaks for itself, but your knowledge can be an uplifting to someone else. I bear witness that kindness can change somebody's life. And it doesn't mean some boyfriend, all that old nonsense. And when I say nonsense, I'm not putting that down, but I'm not talking like that. I mean, I'm not saying it for that reason. So my cup running over. Please tell Doctor to call Ryan and call me until she get in touch with me, because what she said about her family member, I don't have any problem, but the reason I wanted to speak with her, I said I would, whatever service is, I would pay for that. But it happened to be what she said to me, that was meant to be. That had nothing to do because she didn't know with what I'm going to say to her. But tell her to call me. And she said on the phone with me. So tell her to call me. And
wait. Well, Ron, because I don't want to lose you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Nick to share some information with you, because I did reach out to Dr. Z. She
got in touch with me.
Yep. Well, I have some information for you. So Nick is going to share that with you. But what I wanted to say before you go is that I want you to know how much I personally value you and your presence and your opinion. That I don't take you lightly. I don't take anything you say lightly, and I don't take our interaction lightly. And I don't know that I've ever said that to you, but I feel that I need to do so because I want you to know it. Ron, when I say, our beloved, I mean that. I mean that with every fiber of my being. And I have the understanding of who you are. I want you to know that I do see you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I do see you.
Thank you, ma'am.
And I thank you so much. Family, for those of you who are just joining us, you are tuned in. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Listen, the phone lines are still open, and feel free to continue to comment on our socials. I know that I told you I was just going to talk with you briefly, but I'm holding our guest hostage. So when we come back, I'm going to return to our socials and introduce you to our guest in this first hour. So stay with us, okay, family, because we will be right back.
What are you waiting for? If you've been enjoying the information and interviews WURD provides every day, or come out to our community events, it might be time to become a member. This year marks the 20th anniversary of WURD, and there's no better time to join the forward movement. Sign up or renew your sustaining membership at just $90, or your digital membership for just $5 a month. Join online at wordradio.com/membership, or pick up the phone and give us a call at 215-425-7875. Press 4 for assistance. The time to join is now.
What am I waiting for?
Word Radio Digital Tip of the Month with Stephanie Humphrey is brought to you by Comcast.
Like anything else in life, technology has an expiration date. Smartphone hardware gets old and starts to break down, and software becomes harder to keep updated. After a while, not updating your device or your software can cause functional issues like slower speeds and crashing apps or websites, and security issues that can leave your technology open to hackers as well. But how do you know when it's finally time to make that upgrade? Head to endoflife.date to search for your device or software. Find out what latest version exists, if your version has been discontinued, and if there is still support for the gadget you own or the software you're currently using. While your devices and software should still work past their end-of-life date, check out endoflife.date so you won't be unprotected and you won't sacrifice productivity either. Stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
Tune into Word Radio this Thursday at 10 a.m. for City Council Live, hosted by Ernest Owens. Join conversations that matter to your community with your local City Council members.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. At 4 in the morning, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full-time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is your celebration.
I am Eternal Polk, and I'm Mark House. From the film Gaining Ground, The Fight for Black Land, we want to wish WURD
a happy 20th anniversary.
Word.
Hey everyone, my name is Ricky Brown, the Community Engagement Specialist for Philadelphia Parks and Recreation, and I want to say happy 20th anniversary to Word Radio.
Hi, my name is Osaze, and I'm here to wish Word a happy 20th year anniversary, and they're really important in the community, and we need them, especially Shamari.
We're celebrating 20 years of progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life right here on WURD with yours truly, Carol Riddick. We have been, well, actually, it was me. I started with some topics. I was telling you I'm keeping our guest hostage, but just a little longer because I was talking with you all about what's been going on, some articles that I read that gave me cause for just a little alarm anyway. I was reading about these bed bugs in France, and now, thanks to one of my boops and beloveds, he shares that Rashawn shares that there are bed bugs in London as well, and he said that it's really bad, really, really bad, which scares the crap out of me. So I'm asking you to also be careful. Okay, be careful out here. In addition, I was sharing about another story that I read today about five adults and 8 children that were taken to the hospital. There was a hazmat situation in Lehigh Valley at a daycare center. So, family, be careful because they don't know what caused them to be ill with symptoms of headaches and dizziness. They have no idea. They're testing the air even to find out, what's going on up there. So I don't know. Are you wearing your masks? Or I know where are we with that now? How many of you are? I'm curious to know. Just curious to know. Lance Davis is checking in. Thank you, Lance. I wish I could sing the bed bugs away. Let me tell you something. I would definitely give it a try if I could. And Frey is checking in too. Hey there, beautiful. Frey, I don't know if you heard the update, but I did share that I spoke with our beloved Will Downing, and he is on the mend, and that he's coming along. He's coming along. Levi, hi there. He's checking in. Thank you so much for joining us, Levi Randall, DJ Philly. I know that's right. I know that's right. It's been a long time, long time. And Brother Nasir, what you doing, Nasir? You watching the Phillies game? So happy to have you joining us as well. So happy to have you all here. I am curious to know though, family, are you all wearing masks? Are you doing anything? Taking any, extra precautions out here nowadays because there's so much in the air and so much going on? I really am curious to know, what's going on and how we're handling and navigating everything that's out here. One more story I want to share before I bring our guest into the room is that, we've been talking about AI so much lately. And wait, there was a story. Where is this story? I had this other story that I want to share with you. It's about AI. And I thought it was so interesting because it's been just a topic of our conversation as of late. I may have lost it. I think I lost that story. But I do want to share with you that Google was sued for negligence after a man drove off of a collapsed bridge while following map directions. That article was of interest to me because, y'all, let me tell you, Google has taken me to a dead end. It did take me to a dead end one time, but I said, we rely so much on technology. We rely so much. And first of all, I was embarrassed that I drove to this dead end because it was an area with which I was somewhat familiar. And I said, why am I even relying on this? Why am I using it? But I thought that was interesting enough to share with you all. So, family, before I bore you, okay, because that's not the goal. I do want to introduce you to our first guest tonight. Our first guest, Brio Raheem Brock, also known as Brio Vaughan, is a Philadelphia native and a former American football defensive end who played in the National Football League for the Indianapolis Colts, Tennessee Titans, and the Seattle Seahawks from 2002 to 2011. He is currently a professional actor that you may have seen in theater productions as well as on television in Gotham, Bull, The Bronx SIU, just to name a few. But in any event, Brio is going to talk with us about his journey thus far, and we're going to find out what's next with him. So, family, I invite you to the conversation with Brio. Hey there.
Hey,
How you doing? I'm good, and you look. How you doing?
I made it.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I was getting a little worried.
Yeah, I had some technical difficulties, but I'm here. Happy to be here.
Good, happy to have you. But that's all right, because I would have told you to call in, but I didn't want you to have that experience. I wanted you to have the full experience. So
Yeah.
I'm glad. Yeah. I'm glad you could make it. I do want to acknowledge some more of our family members that have joined the conversation. Miss Viola. Hi, Miss Viola. I keep calling you Viola. And I'm so sorry because I know better. Miss Viola is joining the conversation. Always happy to have you here. And Malcolm responded to my question, and he shares that he got out of the habit of wearing the masks, but he carries one whenever he goes out. I know, listen, I have it around my neck, and sometimes I forget to put it on. And then he shares, Google Maps had him turned around too a time or two. Yeah, I drove right to a dead end. I said, okay, right here in Philly, y'all. I should be embarrassed to share that. But in any event, Nasir just went. You just got in from New York City, went to see a play. I love it, and he is watching the Phillies game. So, Brio, since I know this hour goes by so quickly, and I've held you hostage thus far, trying to work out technical issues, I have a ton of questions, but I know we're not going to get them all in the remaining bit of this hour. But I do want to know now. I don't know much about like your football career. I know what I've read, but I've never had a conversation with you about your football career. So I'm anxious to have this conversation with you. When you stopped playing football, I'm going to jump right in. When you stopped playing football, was that difficult for you? Did you miss it? Like, have you missed it?
No, I was just tired of the politics. I didn't miss it. I don't think I missed it. I missed certain parts of it. The guys. I missed the guys, and then the close games. The big games. That pressure of the game on the line, and I got to make a big play. That excitement, that feeling, that pressure was just amazing. If you're in the playoffs, especially, and you got to make a play to win the game, like being put in that situation, and that's the main thing I missed. Besides the love that everybody, appreciates your hard work that you put in, and the family stuff. Everybody loves football. With acting, it's been a little bit different, a different journey. So yeah, I do miss different parts of it, but I was just done. It was too much. Wearing my body down. I was on drugs and liquor, trying to numb the pain that I was going through. So it was a lot of stuff I had to separate myself from, and it was very tough for me. A lot of guys get addicted to the meds. We need the meds to play. There's no way you could play in the NFL without taking, the Toradol or something, strong enough for you to deal with the pain, because we're just moving at such a speed, and the impact is like a regular person getting in a car accident, like every play.
Right. I was watching the games, of course, as I do, and I was watching the other day, and I was paying closer attention to the hits because I anticipated having this conversation with you, and what you just said resonated about having, there being an average person, myself, getting into a car wreck every day. I could not imagine. But how do you even? I can't imagine how you were able to function at such a high level, under the influence of these chemicals, these drugs. Like, were you able to do that?
I mean, the drugs helped us get through. The meds helped us get through. I didn't really pay, you're young. I'm just, excited to be there and enjoying it. I didn't think about how to affect me down the line. But it was what it was. It is what it is. You're going to do, to be on that field and try to help your team and enjoy the moment, so I do it again. You know what I mean?
Right. No, that makes sense.
I got all this nerve damage. I got all these discs in my back, and half my body's like tingling all the time. I got to lay down to do my work. I can't really sit that long, but I'm doing okay now. But
okay.
I have to lay on my stomach. So on my floor, I lay out a mat, and then I put all my papers on the floor, and that's how I do my work. And it was like that when I was playing. I couldn't sit at a table, really. I had to sit on my knees. I was on my knees in the meetings. It was that intense, and I had a high tolerance of pain. And, after football stopped, I've been doing a lot of self-care, to be a great actor and just to survive, to live. It's just, I didn't know I was going to have to go through that, but I would still do it.
Right.
The experience was great. I was just able to do so much for so many people, and it was just an amazing experience.
I can only imagine. Listening to you talk about, the injuries and navigating just the different things happening physically. It makes me wonder what your thoughts are on CTE. I know that I was and I'm asking you this because I watched a documentary not long ago about Aaron Hernandez. And I'm curious to know, like, if that was, well, how do you feel? Do you think that there's been enough done about it, like studies or even on the collegiate level?
Yeah, I think everybody's doing what they can, but football, they don't want to take football away. It's just I know they've changed how guys tackle each other. I don't really know how we get it. For me, I don't even think about it. I just I try to do a lot of reading, and I've done a lot of stuff to improve my brain, and I just stay on top of it, like as much as possible.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
I don't even know. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to make me do. I don't know if I have it or not. It's just that I don't think about it. A lot of guys just, like, some of my teammates, like, man, we have it. Like, they just say we have it, and I just don't think like that, because you can think stuff into existence. So I just kind of avoid it. I don't think about it. I am writing about it because people, like, if I do something, if I get angry or something, they're like, "Oh, you got CTE, you got CTE." You know what I'm saying? So my friend is a friend of mine. We're writing and gonna do a film about it. Just because I know a lot of guys deal with it after football. You can't get mad. You can't do anything. Oh, you got CTE.
Right.
No, you
Right.
And you just get labeled, and then you start thinking like, man, maybe I have it, but I don't think about it. I just think about what I'm trying to do moving forward in my life and things I enjoy. And when I'm out of here, they could cut me open and see what happens.
Find out. Right. I know that's right.
You know what I mean? I can't think about, because that's depression. I'm already, with acting, I go through a lot of stuff with acting, with all these acting exercises. I got to walk down my childhood and go through all this trauma that was in my body that I never knew that I had. So, and I don't know if that's been helping me, but I don't think about it at all.
It sounds to me like it might be healthy to do so, especially if you didn't know it was it was there, to now be able to release it. Maybe that might be healthy.
I believe it is healthy for everybody. I think we all suffer from trauma that we don't know that's affecting us. We should all, especially if you're in the inner city. I mean, Black people, period. That we, especially if you're in Philly, we go through so much stuff and we push it down, and we have to have this tough coat to survive and get out of the city or whatever we're trying to do, and we push everything down, and it affects us. It affects our decisions we make in life, and we get in an emotional state.
Yeah.
But it's good. I think it'd be good for everyone to try to get the trauma, seeing therapists, and they got stuff with the shrooms that the therapists are using now, that Michael Jackson and all of them went down to another country and they took all this stuff. Left Eye, Lopez, a lot of celebrities have years, and now it's coming to the general public, and I think people should take advantage of it. It's going to get all that stuff out of your system, so you can communicate to, have us powers. You can communicate with God on a clear level. You know what I mean?
Okay.
On the spiritual level.
I understand that. Okay. Well, wait, let me interrupt you for one moment, because we're going to take a commercial break in just a moment. But family, For those of you who have just joined us, you are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We are talking with Brio Raheem Brock, aka Brio Vaughan, and we're talking about just life, talking about his life and his journey thus far. When we come back, we're going to go to our socials and see what you are saying and what you're talking about. And keep in mind that our phone lines are still open too. So whatever you do, stay with us because we will be right back.
Are you ready to party? The party is about to be on. Join us Friday, November 10th for WURD Radio's 20th anniversary celebration, an evening of Black excellence and elegance at the beautiful Fiddler Club in downtown Philadelphia. A cocktail reception gets us started at 6 p.m. Grab a bite, share a toast, or hang out with your favorite WURD host. And in recognition of this milestone birthday, we're bringing together the owners of the nation's 3 remaining Black talk radio stations, Melody Span Cooper of WVON Chicago, Tavis Smiley of KBLA Los Angeles, and WURD's own CEO Sarah Lomax, exploring the future of Black independent-owned media. We'll have a special live performance with dynamic songstress Carol Riddick, and the house will be rocking with legendary DJ Gary O, spinning music from old school to today. To get your tickets, visit wordradio.com/20th anniversary. And remember, membership has its privileges. For WURD members can still continue to purchase tickets at a discounted rate. Your membership will be verified after purchase. Our 20th anniversary celebration is brought to you by Comcast, Bank of America, United Way, Keystone First, Wells Fargo, United Healthcare, and Mainline Health.
We gon' celebrate and have a good time.
Tonight's Powerball jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $1.7 billion. $1.7 billion. So don't forget to play at your local retailer or online. Pennsylvania Lottery proceeds benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly.
I love this song! I love nachos.
Loving everything? You might be buzzed.
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Join WURD Radio broadcasting live this Saturday, October 14th, beginning at 10 a.m. from Dare to Imagine Church, located 6610 Anderson Street, sponsored by Wells Fargo, the Affordable Housing Centers of Pennsylvania. We'll be hosting a free community event about saving money and protecting your biggest financial asset, your home. Presentations on estate planning and home equity will take place throughout the day. Homeowners can learn about estate planning, writing wills, how to safely use equity, how to finance repairs, and what repair programs are available. Community legal services will have staff on site to answer questions about wills and titles, and multiple local agencies will be available with additional resources for homeowners. Join us live Saturday, October 14th, beginning at 10 a.m. from Dare to Imagine Church, 6610 Anderson Street. Go to ahcopa.org to register. That's to ahcopa.org. See you there.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. That success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We are talking with Brio Raheem Brock, also known as Brio Vaughan, and we're talking about his journey thus far. I want to go to our socials for a moment because I did see that we had a question. Nasir asks, "Isn't this the young man that you were in the play with at Seaport Museum?" It sure is. It sure is. I played his big sister. We were Frankie and Francis, right? That was, but Francis, Francis. That was so funny. Who's this sleeping in my bed? That was the name of the play. Who's this sleeping in my bed? It sure was. This is my brother Frankie. So you were talking about acting, and I shared with our family members about your acting career as well. What prompted the transition from sports to acting?
Well, I always wanted to do acting. When I was at Temple, I did a little theater, but the guys, on the football team, they kind of punked me out of it. Like, I can't, you can't play football, do theater. So I was in there doing my little dances and, dancing around the stage. They was like, "Nah, buddy, you need to get out of here." So,
they clowned you.
Yeah, I was young, so the older guys, they would just grip me up and say, "Nah, buddy." So but when I got to the league, I always wanted to do acting. I did a lot of stuff when I was younger, little skits and plays and stuff like that. When I was not in Philly, but in Maryland. But when I got to the league about midway, I was doing a lot of stuff. I did some stuff with Comedy Central, and I did little things here and there. When I went and played in Seattle, I was in school.
Okay.
I think at GW, I was taking classes. I got hurt one time doing a scene, and I had to go play in the game that week.
What?
I did great in the game too. I did great in the game, actually. I got hurt doing the scene. So that's why they don't want us to play, like do acting and stuff like that during the season.
Right.
But I was doing it, for a minute, and then I just quit football. I was tired of it. And then I went to Terry Schreiber, and actually I did Mike Lemon in Philly, and I did a couple of local things. And then I went to Terry Schreiber in New York City, and that's when it got really serious. I got in the theater. He introduced me to a lot of theater exercises, which opened me up emotionally, and started taking me down my childhood, and you got to use. But a technique I was learning, I have to use like traumatic events that'll help you get emotionally ready for certain specific scenes.
Okay.
So I had to get that out of my system, so I can be in a scene and still cry or something like that to get emotional and say my lines, and not be overwhelmed with emotion where I can't do anything and I shut down. Which happened the first exercise I did. I couldn't stop crying for 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So, everybody in the stands came out and started hugging me. Like, it was that bad. Like, I didn't know how it was going to affect me. And I seen other people doing it. But I love acting so much. I'm willing to do whatever I had to do to be, great at acting.
I was going to ask you if acting, well, I was going to ask you initially if football was your first love or if it was, something you always wanted to do. But it sounds like the arts are closer to your spirit or closer to your heart than sports.
Yeah. With sports, I just wanted to, my family, we were kind of disconnected, my parents were young. So, I don't blame them for the situation we were in. But I wanted to see what it was like to have family around. That was one of the big reasons, besides helping my kids not deal with the situations I had to deal with in Philadelphia. But just to see what it's like to have family. Everybody loves sports, and I wanted to excel and, bring everybody around. I was able to bring my grandmama around, my uncles, and uncles haven't seen each other in 20, 30 years. And, being able to have that experience and have all these family members under one house with my grandmom, you know what I mean? It was just
it was more about a give back for you. Like you.
Yeah. And I just wanted, and even the experience for me to just, have everybody around and enjoying it, enjoying watching me on Sunday and whenever I played. So that was the experience I wanted to create, and there's a lot of other stuff that just came with it.
That
But
makes sense.
now it's just like I'm on this artist journey that's just way beyond football. Like it actually just kept me alive. Like because I was like suicidal. I had popped some pills one time, and somebody
No.
found me, in the bathroom, a friend of mine. So yeah, it was a lot going on. I'm writing my book, so I'm gonna put it all in
I
my
was
book.
Brio, I was about to say, wait a minute. Okay, because that's how long ago was that? I'm
It was
so mad that
before
we're
I moved
coming at the
to New
close of
York.
the that was
Yeah,
when?
when I moved to New York. Before I moved to New York, I was just I think it was just adjusting to. I had to adjust to not having everybody around like that.
Right,
And
right.
just I just felt lost. I didn't know what to do. Why am I here?
Sure.
And just didn't want to be here anymore. You know.
Well, listen. I pray that you are no longer having these feelings. Your big sister is here.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, I do self care all the time. And the crazy part is like, with acting, and I got a kind of a technique on my own, like that I use now that I don't have to trigger too much stuff from the past.
Mhm,
And I think I got most
mhm.
of the stuff out of my system. I know people have seen me spaz out on social media a little bit.
Uh-huh. Well, I know. You know
I'm
what?
just
I
going
think
through the training. It's just through the training. It just you just never know what it's going to do to you.
I
Especially.
appreciate. Oh, I'm sorry because I'm
No, just look it up.
interjecting because I'm looking at the time too. But I do want you to hear me
Mhm.
say this because I appreciate your transparency and your candor. Because you and I talk. We talk from time to time, but we never really get into this. And I should have what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to bring you back. We're just
Yeah,
gonna have a whole night. You'll come
Mhm.
back. You'll come
Yeah,
back
I'll
and
come
talk with
back
us.
definitely.
I do want to share with you one of our family members shares. Oh wow, you just never know what people are going through. God bless you,
Yeah.
Brio. Such a great interview. We need part two.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
and I am in full agreement with that. So you will come back.
I'll definitely come
'Cause
back.
I am so mad. I just feel so rushed. And I just, I really do want to hear more of your journey because it's so much more than just football and just
Mhm, mhm.
acting.
Yeah.
Like you say that's on the surface,
Mhm.
but listening to you actually talk about, what you were navigating, in the background, it
Mhm,
just
mhm.
it just it just really sounds like so much more that I want to hear. Malcolm agrees. He agreed in all caps. A part two is needed. It's necessary. So, Brio, will you come back sooner than later? Okay,
Mhm,
so
mhm.
we can have you.
Whenever you
Okay,
need me
that's the
back.
plan. That's the plan. Okay, that's the plan. So what I'm going to do, family. Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd. I'm listening. And it's, what's so more interesting is that, like I said, we talk and we check on each other. We're like, all right, you good, you good. But even with that, we don't really know what
Mhm,
one
yeah.
another is dealing with in the background, and we don't know what you and I don't know what we've dealt with in the past because
Yep, yep,
it's
yep.
only times like these when we actually dig deep and talk about stuff like this.
Yeah.
So, family, you heard Brio. He said he is going to come back and he's going to talk more with us about everything because we didn't even talk about music. I want to
Mm.
talk about music. I want to talk about acting more.
Yes,
I
yes.
really I do. I want to talk about it all
Yeah.
more.
Mhm.
That's so funny. Chris said, I just told my age with that statement. Well, listen, let me tell you something. I am proud to be on the fifth level. Okay. I'm at level
Mhm, mhm.
5.3, knocking on 5.4's
Mhm,
door. So
mhm. Be thankful every day.
you hear me? Every second, every minute, every hour. I am so grateful to see it.
Yes.
So grateful to see it. And again, I just want you to know. Well, I'm going to call you anyway, but I'm just grateful to you for obliging and for coming, to talk with us and for being candid. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because it's
Yeah.
not always that easy for everybody to just talk about life. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you being candid too. Family, I need to exhale on this conversation. Family, Brio said he will return. He will come back. I want you to know that we have another guest for you in the next hour. The phone lines are still open, and feel free to continue to comment on our socials. Show Brio some love while you're at it, because I know you feel it too, because he just shared a lot. He said 3 things and said a lot in the time that we did have with him. Family, stay with us. Going to commercial break, but we will be right back.
It's the WURD Hot 60. Hot 60. Here's the hottest 60 seconds you missed this week on The Source.
Read the ingredients when you go into the market and pick up the stuff and say, I want to eat this. If it has more than 2 ingredients, I'm not buying it. I'm learning from Dr. Sharif today. Oh, and I love pears. You can eat a pear and get 7 grams of fiber. These are the things that I'm talking about when I say take care of yourself. If you look at your, go look down your social media page. If your entire social media page is about pointing fingers and complaining about everything, you need healing. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. If your entire conversation is always about pointing fingers and finding fault with people and, having an argument about everything, you need healing. Go look at your pages. If your pages are talking about, finding joy, because joy and laughter is cathartic to the soul. If you're finding joy, if you're talking about love, if you're talking about, solutions, if you're talking about supporting others around you, then you're in a space where you understand that it's not just about you and you get to do what you need to do.
And that's the hottest 60 seconds this week on The Source on WURD, Progressive
Black Talk Media. Here's what you missed on Wake Up with WURD.
So I want to talk about what's going on first here, because there were, of course, 300-year-old survivors of the Tulsa Race Massacre who sued for reparations. The government delayed, and now one of them has died. Lynn, what do we know? What do we do if the delay tactics work and there are no survivors left to file suit?
Well, then as you have noted, some of your callers noted, if this thing keeps going on and on without a resolution, then they'll use their favorite line. Well, there's no connection between the people now demanding reparations and those who we think may be entitled to it. Yeah. Here's a situation where in May of 1921, racists rampaged through a black neighborhood and just decimated it. And the reason why was racism, but there was an effort to stop a lynching.
Tune in to Wake Up with WURD with Solomon Jones every Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Lucille Ijoy. Now, Sarah Lomax, the president of WURD Radio, she said, yes, let us talk about voting. It's a serious topic, so here goes. I register, I vote, I must. Now, I know you said, I've heard you say that before. Yes, I've been saying that for years. I register, I vote, I must. I hope you will join in and say, I register, I vote, I must. Sometimes we say, I register, I vote, I must. And sometimes we say, I register, I vote, I must. Just keep the pace. Think about it. This is serious. God's blessings to us all. I register, I vote, I must.
Staying active and healthy as we age starts with strong bones. To keep your bones strong, you need calcium, vitamin D, and regular exercise. A bone density test called DEXA helps detect low bone mass and bone disease called osteoporosis. If you're 65 or older, Medicare provides free bone density tests every 2 years. Ask your doctor to schedule yours. For more information on how to be bone strong, visit pathtogoodbonehealth.org.
Want to be heard on WURD?
Yes, this is Miss Renee King out of Philadelphia.
Dial 215-634-8065 to join the conversation. Outside of Philly, dial 1-866-361-0900. First-time caller? Great. We would love to hear from you. WURD is the voice of the African American community, so make yours heard. Please limit calls to once per day. Spread the word and tell a friend to tune in and join the conversation. We're bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD Radio, 900 AM and 96.1 FM, WURD, Philadelphia. Celebrating 20 years of progressive Black Talk media. Streaming online at WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
is love.
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. Welcome to the top of the second hour of Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. So that was, my goodness, I don't even know what to say. We had such an interesting first hour with my good friend, Brio, and I've been sharing with you that I just love the conversations that we have in this space. I truly do. I so appreciate all of our guests' transparency and candor and just their delicacy. I really do. And our next guest, I promise you, will be no different. Our next guest, I'm going to apologize to him as soon as I bring him into the room because I think I tracked him down. But I just want him to know I wanted you all to hear from him and to get to know him as well. Our next guest is Dr. Vaughan Graves, who is the founder and director of Graves Derma Care Center and is a nationally recognized leader, educator, and consultant in the field of dermatology. Having practiced dermatology in excess of 30 years, he's become renowned for his expertise in the treatment of skin of color in cosmetic and medical dermatology. Family, I invite you to the conversation with Dr. Vaughan Graves. Hello there, Dr. Graves. How are you?
How are you, Carol? Pleasure to be
I
here.
am. I'm happy to have you. I don't know if you heard me say, I said, poor thing. I so apologize. I was tracking you down. I said, I want to talk to Dr. Graves.
You did a good job.
Please don't hold it against me. Charge it to my heart, not to my head, okay? I just really, I'm sorry.
I said we go way back, so it wasn't that hard.
We do. I so appreciate. Thank you. Thank you. I so appreciate that. I just really, here on Love and Life, I was sharing with you that we talk about everything. And we've had some conversations talking about skincare but they've been brief. And I thought, well, who better to talk with than another one of our experts. And you were the first person. I said, well, I have to talk to Dr. Graves. I just have to have him come and talk with us. And I know the hour goes by so quickly. So I want to get into some things, and I want to know why is having a black dermatologist so important for a person of color?
I mean, all dermatologists can address your problems, but having a black dermatologist, if you're also African American, they're more appreciative and understanding of the cultural differences and habits and mores of the culture.
Mm-hmm.
So if you come in with a problem, I can talk to you more candidly about things that you might be doing that's contributing to the medical issues that you might have. Also, I find that patients feel more comfortable sometimes talking to me about something than maybe talking to another dermatologist. They've come from other dermatologists before, and they say, I tried, or that person didn't listen to me. I didn't feel I was heard. And I heard that you would listen to me and talk to me about my issues. So I think that's probably the main difference.
Yeah, I can. Well, family, what you all don't know is that I run to Dr. Graves. If I have the least, I run. I say, Dr. Graves, Dr. Graves, I don't know what's going on. And he can attest. I sure do. Yes, I have. Haven't I called you in emergency? I don't know. And look, to my embarrassment, the one time just so happened to be that I had a mole. I didn't know. I called you and I was like, I don't know, something's happening with my skin. I'm growing an appendage. And it was a mole. It was a mole. But I will say it was your bedside manner. You did put me at ease. And I, of course, left there laughing at myself in my embarrassment.
And you mentioned a mole. Moles can be problematic, and moles can be just hereditary and benign. So it's always good to figure out what that mole is, whether it's something that you inherited and it's not going to give you any problem down the road, or something that needs to be removed or biopsied. So there are moles that people think are non-problematic that could be problematic. So always get them checked.
I'm glad you said that because now my family, most of my aunts, my mother, they had moles. A few of my aunts had a lot of moles, but it never occurred to me, of course, because my mole didn't present until like later in my adult life. So I didn't know that was possible, quite honestly. I thought that if you had a mole, you were just born with it.
Well, there's some moles that come up later. Some moles grow as we grow. Some of them are not actually moles, but they could be, warts caused by viruses. And there are moles that come on later in life because of heredity. Moles are actually appendages from different parts of our skin that our skin generally has, like oil gland moles. There are moles that come from the pigment cells in our skin. There's moles that come from sun exposure. So it's always good to figure out what you have and what needs to be done about it.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I was thinking about, well, in anticipation of having this conversation with you tonight, I'm shifting gears here. And I chuckled a little. Now, family, what you don't know is that I know both Dr. Graves and his brother, Derek Graves. And I thought, did you all both plan as children? Were you as little kids? I'm thinking, did they have their little sets? Were they planning to become physicians? Were you?
Not at all. I didn't decide to go into medicine until my college years. I was debating between, I was a political science and philosophy major and pre-med. And I just decided, I said, do I go in the law direction? Do I go in the medical direction? I guess our mom kind of programmed us in the science direction. And as you know, my brother plays music as well. So he has that creative and I guess mathematical background that allows him to do what he needs to do. And they just encourage us to do and follow what we enjoyed. And we kind of naturally gravitated in those directions as time went on.
I must share. So when I met your brother, when I met Dr. Derek Graves, I met him as a musician. So we were playing. And then when I learned that he was a dentist, well, he became immediately. I said, well, I have to just, go see him. I saw him too in an emergency. I thought my tooth was coming out. I thought it was just a crisis. And there was a piece of corn stuck in there. I was so embarrassed.
It can happen.
I was so embarrassed. So I have two embarrassing moments with the two of you. How is that? How is that? Corn and a mole. But so we were having a conversation in one of the episodes, and I was talking about what do you call it? The sunscreen. It was escaping me for a moment there. Is wearing sunscreen important for people of color?
It is, as our exposure to the atmosphere becomes a little bit more problematic, because it was a problem with the ozone layer years ago. That's being corrected, of course. But ultraviolet light can cause skin cancers, even in us. And I've been seeing a lot more problems with hyperpigmentation from sun exposure. I mean, a lot of our patients are on medicines for cholesterol. They're in medicines for blood pressure. Some of these medications can cause severe areas of hyperpigmentation, and you don't know why they've appeared. And just by wearing the proper sunscreen can prevent that discoloration. So not only from skin cancer prevention, but also for hyperpigmentation and other skin problems, it's very helpful.
Is there a suggested SPF?
The SPF, when I trained years ago, one of my professors, who was very, I guess, one of the pioneers in sunscreen, said 15 or higher was what was necessary. At the higher you go, you get a little bit more protection. But I think what's more important is to get the right type of, sunscreen for you. There are some for oily skin, some for dry skin. And I have people coming in who wearing sunscreens and make it a habit of using it in their moisturizer things. And they may have acne, but that may be causing their acne problem. So it's getting direction in the type of sunscreen you use. There's also two categories of sunscreens there: physical sunscreens and chemical sunscreens. Most of the ones that you buy in the store are chemical. They absorb sunlight. And some people are allergic to those products that they put on. And I've had people come in with rashes from those sunscreens. The physical sunscreens are a little less problematic. They reflect off sunlight and don't really interact with the skin. And we prescribe a little bit more of those in my office than we do the chemicals. So it's just knowing what you need to use. Everybody's different. And based on your skin type, you may need one sunscreen over another. But I think in general, most people should wear sunscreen. Yes.
So the physical sunscreen, is that available primarily through prescription, or
It's not a prescription, but you can get it through your dermatology office. More and more retail places are trying to stock them with the titanium oxide type products, but
okay?
they're a little bit more difficult to get because the other ones, the chemical sunscreens, have been around so much longer. So you just have to know, where to be pointed or what direction. Some can be gotten obviously online now. So just need to know the right one and figure that out. And we can help you figure that out.
I was going to say, so I was about to ask, so what do we look for? I wouldn't know where to begin.
Yeah, well, first you got to know what type of skin and where you're applying it. I mean, I have people put the oil-free sunscreen on the face because their face is oily, and then they use
Right.
the body sunscreen for more products for a body that's more dry. And it depends on what issue you're trying to address. But we can give you some direction. If you're unsure, you can always try it. It's not going to hurt you. You're just going to see whether it feels good to you on your skin and it doesn't cause additional problems. I mean, if you put on that causes acne, obviously that's not the one for you.
No.
So you can get another type that's more oil free.
You know what? I'm thinking, my mind is all over the place. Dr. Graves, I have a ton of questions for you, and I know the hour goes by so fast. There was something that I did forget to ask you when we were having the conversation about moles. When is it necessary to see a dermatologist for a mole?
I mean, if you have a mole from childhood, it's been there, hasn't changed much, it's probably not a problem. But if any mole starts to grow or change color, look irregular in color, or the borders change, then I would say, hey, let's go in and get checked. Now, if you have a whole lot of moles, there are conditions where you have a whole lot of moles in your trunk and extremities that are more prone to change into things as time goes on. We call them dysplastic nevi and other things. So, technical names for moles that could become problematic. So just the main school of thought is if a mole changes and you're really uncertain about, how long it's been there and what it looked like before, or it's really bled or done something different, then get it checked out by a dermatologist.
I've seen the skin condition where there are individuals who have like bumps on the back of their necks and scalp, and for a long time I thought they were moles, but you can see there's a varying look to them. Is there like one cause for, I don't even know what the name of I believe it's a condition, but is there a name for, I've seen individuals that are like bumps. Are they razor bumps, or is that a condition, or
Or what, on the back of their scalp or on their
yes,
face?
on the back of the
Yeah,
scalp?
the name, we call it acne keloidalis. I see a lot of guys who come in with these bumps. They start out just like razor bumps. They come from sometime cutting the hair and dirt and oil accumulating in those areas. Because our hair is curly, it curls back into the skin sometime, and we have natural bacteria on our skin, which is then pushed in, and our skin reacts, and we get these bumps. And these bumps can be very tiny and non-problematic, but a lot of them can evolve into real keloids. That's why we use the name keloidalis. And so we treat them with various medications that will prevent them. Sometimes people have them very bad, and they go into keloids and cysts and infections, and we
Oh,
have to get them removed. There's some people have to have radiation treatments for their removal, antibiotics. So it depends on the severity, but we see a lot of I see a lot of guys that have them, but some ladies do have them as well.
I
And
was going to ask that.
yeah, they do. Yeah,
I
less so. I see less frequently in women, but in the back of the scalp, if the hair is curling into the skin or is accumulating a certain amount of oil and debris, sometimes it can happen.
mm, that is so interesting to me. So, one thing I was thinking about when I was trying to figure out what I was going to ask you, like deciding, like I said, I have so many questions, but I was trying to pull from all the questions I have. Do skin problems or conditions, I'll say, vary according to skin tone?
It can. I mean, we believe the more pigmented you are, the more melanin you have, the more protected you are from skin cancers. But by and large, in most of my patient populations and all ranges of skin, you see some very standard problems. You see acne, you see eczema, you see psoriasis, you see
Mm-hmm.
dandruff, seborrhea. Um, some skin conditions are a little harder to identify in lighter skinned people, like vitiligo, where you lose your pigment.
Oh, yeah.
And when the darker skinned folks, you can see it more readily. So there are some variations, and of course, um, people who are less pigmented are a little more prone to skin cancers, melanomas, basal cell carcinomas, squamous cell carcinomas. But
I read
that
that.
is true.
Yeah, I was going to ask because I sure did read that. Why is that? Is that because of less melanin?
Less melanin. The melanin protects against the damaging rays of the ultraviolet light, and it
Hmm.
can be very protective. And folks of Irish descent and Celtic and Scandinavian descent do have more of a problem with this kind of disease process, and that's why it's always been recommended that they get their skin checked for any changes in moles or lesions that may develop on their skin.
Hmm. Family, so if you have just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We are talking with Dr. Vaughan C. Graves. We're talking about all things related to skin and dermatology. I have a ton of questions. I know you do. I just know you do because we've been talking about our skin and we've been talking about self care and we've been talking about all things related to our bodies as of late, quite honestly. So feel free to place your comments or your questions in on our socials, or you can even give us a call. You can do that by dialing 215-634 8065, or you can even call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. I've been grilling poor Dr. Graves. You hear me because I just want to know about it. I just want to know. So I am curious to know what is it that makes our skin, how is skin care for people of color different? What makes our needs unique?
I think probably the amount of pigment that we have that protects us from a lot of the inherent problems of ultraviolet light makes our skin a little less prone from getting dry and irritated. We have more problems with our skin being oily than dry, except in areas of our body like our arms and legs, where we do have problems with eczema. So the protective nature of our skin does do that. In my practice, when I trained, I saw a lot. When I said skin and cancer, we saw a lot of skin cancers, but I don't see that many skin cancers. But I see enough in our patient population to be cautious and not over assume that because we are a certain pigment that we can't get it, because we do.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the main things. Psoriasis They used to say that African Americans didn't get rosacea, but I think they just weren't identified. And rosacea is just kind of an inflammatory type of acne caused by, alcohol, coffee, chocolates, hormones that happens on our that can happen on our face. But I see quite a few men and women who do have the problem.
I saw you smile when you said that. Yeah, those hormones are something else.
Yes. And
Oh my.
that's been the main problem with a lot of my women who have hair loss, is the hormonal changes that they may go through that do impact on their hair and the texture and sometimes the thickness of their hair as well.
I want to touch, I actually want to go back to that conversation. When we come back from break, family, it's time for us to take just a short break, but do stay with us because, like I said, the conversation will continue when we return. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
The job search can be a difficult and frustrating process. WURD's Livelihood Initiative was designed to help you find the right opportunity for your next professional move. Check out the recent openings posted on the Livelihood Job Board at wordworks.com. The Wagner Institute of Science is hiring a science outreach educator. The Bicycle Coalition of Greater Philadelphia is hiring both a director of finance and operations and an executive director. For more information on these jobs and others, go to wordworks.com and learn more about the Livelihood Initiative, brought to you by WURD Radio, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Tonight's Powerball jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $1.7 billion. $1.7 billion. So don't forget to play at your local retailer or online. Pennsylvania Lottery proceeds benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga. My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
WURD Radio is sharing a harvest for the world. Now through December 31st, visit wordradio.com to find information on upcoming Give Back events in the Philadelphia area. If your organization is hosting free clothing giveaways, food drives, free workshops, community dinners, and more, please share the details using the form on our website. Visit wordradio.com and look for the Harvest banner. It's harvest time, and we're sharing information on those giving back to the community. The Harvest is brought to you by Comcast, Pico, Keystone First, and the United Way. We are WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We've been talking with Dr. Vaughan C. Graves about skincare, about our skin practices, about everything under the umbrella of dermatology. I wanted to take a moment to go to our socials to acknowledge some of our family members that have been checking in. Hey there, Pepper. From the Hot Pepper Show with Pepper Thomas. Pepper is checking in and she's saying hello. She's sharing this is some good stuff. And she shares that she uses Black Girl sunscreen. I think we did talk about that brand. Someone did recommend that brand, Pepper. Someone else, one of our family members, uses the same thing. Joey Dixon is checking in. Well, hello there, Brother Joey. Always nice to have you join us as well. He sends one love and jazz to everybody. Drea Johnson is checking in. Hey, beautiful. How are you too? She shares that Dr. Graves is awesome. My grandmother used to go to him, and I went to him a few times myself. He's very knowledgeable. I know. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Drea, I don't know if you heard me say it, but I'm always going to him in a panic. But yes, I have not had to see him twice for the same problem. I'll tell you that though. And Jay is checking in as well. Hey there, beautiful. Always, always, always happy to have you all join us. Before the break, Dr. Graves was sharing with us about hormonal changes causing hair loss in some of us. And the ladies, y'all know we touched briefly on this. We were talking about hair care a few weeks ago in one of the episodes. So I'm curious to know, are there any preventive measures we can take? Is there anything we can do to like kind of head this off at the pass?
Well, that's very interesting. A lot of the newer types of medicine, the anti-aging or preventative medicine, is getting into hormone replacement therapy and nutritional therapy, and these are the hormones that are natural or bioidentical in nature. And sometime by preempting the side effects of menopause by going on some of these hormonal products, they can prevent some of these symptoms, even symptoms of hot night sweats and difficulty sleeping that goes along with hormonal changes, as well as the hair loss. So we're seeing that it can help. It's not 100%, but it does make a difference. I think a lot of women who come in who see me thinking that their hair loss, they said my mom had it or grandmom had it. They're thinking it's heredity. It's actually a change in the same change that they're experiencing in the hormonal levels that they had premenopause versus perimenopause and postmenopause. So if you can get on it ahead of time before that happens, your hair is less subject to damage and things of that nature early on.
You know, it's interesting that you said that there was someone that I know of. She was talking with me about her own hair loss journey, and she said, "Well, you know what? I anticipated it because my mother had it too." So when you just said that, we have a tendency to think that something is hereditary or gene related because another one of our family members has it, and that's not always the case.
Yeah, it's a hereditary predisposition, but
Okay.
a lot of things that's because that hormones have impacted your hair in the same way that impacted your mom or your grandmom. But a lot of anti-aging specialists now are getting ahead of it for men and women. For guys, low testosterone and things like that, replacing it so that their musculature and also there's some association with prostate cancer and things of that nature that are being thought of. That you can get ahead of the game sometime, and a lot of it's experimental and being developed, but there are some very good things out there that can be done.
Thank you for that. One of our family members is checking in and she has a question. Sharia Lene Green. Hi there, beautiful. She shares, good evening. Why do women have chin hair and how can we stop it? Oh, my Lord. Let me tell you something. That's the question of the evening.
A lot of women come in with chin hair. It's nothing to be ashamed of. I think more women have chin hair that you can identify than you think about. But it's just the hormonal changes that affect the hair growth in those areas. So they can be addressed. There's laser hair removal. There's electrolysis. There's if you have just the hair bump problem, there's medications to prevent the bumping that occurs from temporary hair removal, like shaving or plucking or things of that nature. But we do laser hair removal all the time now, and you have to know though that if you do laser only works on black and brown hairs. It has to see the pigment in the hair follicle. So I have people who maybe delay it until their hair turns gray, and then laser is not a direction you can go anymore. You have to go with electrolysis, which is more like a needle type destruction of those problematic hairs. So.
Oh, wow. Dr. Graves, let me tell you something. I promise you, it's two clusters, one on each side. I
Right.
said,
Very common.
what in heaven's name happens to Murgatroyd?
And it just came not too long ago, or has it been there for a little while? That's when you.
It's no, about 2 years now. It's been about 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've been there for a while. I mean, it's so funny. I mean, I'm pointing to the spots, family. You see me. I can't stand it. You hear me every morning, and I promise you, I feel because I pluck. Listen, family, we're getting real personal, but you know, I tell you about
And be
this.
careful with the plucking because it just breaks the hair off a little lower than shaving. People ask me, is shaving going to make it come back heavier? But plucking is really cutting the hair too. It's just cutting the hair lower than shaving, and sometimes that creates more of a scar and a bump. Depends on how adept you are at plucking. So be careful. And there's medicines to reverse any bumping that you might have if you do those temporary methods of removal. But you can address it with laser, and it
Okay.
will definitely reduce the amount of facial hair you have. A lot
Okay.
of our patients were very scared at getting laser done because laser, by seeing the pigment in the hair follicle, and the old lasers would also affect our skin as well. It would damage the skin, make it lighter, or cause problems.
Uh,
There are newer lasers that make it easier and less problematic to do laser on our skin types.
okay. Well, I see that I need to make an appointment because when I tell you they're like 3 on this side and 4 on this side, it's
Yeah,
just 2 clusters,
yeah,
and they are persistent.
right. And probably that was your hereditary hormonal trigger by some family member of yours that gave you the predisposition. So it's something that can be addressed.
I'm so happy to know that. So now laser hair removal, is that a painful process?
No, it isn't. Not now. I mean, we numb the face up with topical numbing agents. I mean, you do
Mhm.
feel a little bit, but most people tolerate it very well, and
Okay.
don't really say that they're having, very bad pain when they're having it done. They may feel a little bit of a sting when the laser's hitting, but not much of anything. And it's pretty easy. It's not a long procedure. I
Okay.
have women remove all the chin hairs or the mustache hairs or the, you know, even under the arms and bikini lines, anything you want. It can be
Right.
done in any area, any hair that's problematic. We are seeing more men. You mentioned those bumps on the back of the head
Mhm.
who are not responding to maybe medications topically or injections. Sometimes they get laser done, and that cuts down on the problem of razor bumps or those acne keloidalis hairs as well.
So now when an individual has a laser hair removal process, does the hair typically or can it does it is there a possibility of the hair growing back?
Yes,
Or is
there
that
is
permanent?
because
Okay.
you can get new hair that grows. What they always say with all laser hair removal, and this is quite honest, they'll say permanent reduction. You will reduce the amount of hairs that are problematic for you.
Okay.
Can we get rid of 100% of the hairs? That's very hard. I guess if you stayed with it for a long period of time, you could really cut down on all the hairs. But we do 4 or 5 treatments once a month, and it really reduces the amount of problematic hair. So most people are satisfied with that. And if
Mhm.
later on, several years later, some new hair grows, they can always come back and get those addressed as well.
I was going to ask you that too. So it's typical to have a series of treatments or
Yeah, every laser center does it differently. I've had people go to centers that sign them up for 14 and 10 treatments. We usually do
Oh,
about 5.
okay.
And then if you need more, you can add them later on. It's not uh, a perfect science. And each laser is a little bit different on how you approach it, which the operator then chooses what's best for that laser as well.
Mm. Sharia shares, sometimes the hair is longer under the chin. It just drives us crazy. I know.
Right?
We deal with so
It
much, don't
grows up.
we?
Yeah.
Let me tell you right now, family, I want to share this with you. What I'm dealing with now is I grow one gray eyelash, but it's so white that it causes me to think that there's something on my eyelash, so I have to pluck it out because it comes back though. It wants to be here, but I keep plucking it because I keep thinking I have something in my eyelash. That's how white it is. It's
Uh,
okay. Yeah, that would be but I mean, hey, there are worse problems to have, right? So I'm not complaining. Not complaining. I want to be clear. I'm not complaining. I do want to share that Chris Black is checking in. Hey there, Chris. So happy to have you join us as well. Family, we are talking with Dr. Graves, Dr. Vaughan C. Graves. We're talking about dermatology. I'm asking him about all things as it pertains to skin and skin care. And you know what? You can do the same thing. You can do the same thing too. You see, Sharia has asked her question on social media, and you can do the same. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. So now I have a question for you about eczema. First of all, well, my first question is, what is eczema?
Eczema is really a very, very extreme allergic form of very dry skin.
Okay.
People who are more prone to eczema are people who get asthma or hay fever. So it's kind of an allergic response, sometimes to pollen and foods, and it can
Mm,
be affected by weather changes. And unlike just dry skin that you put some moisturizer on, it's a little bit more extreme and doesn't respond. It's very itchy.
okay.
Sometimes skin thickens. There's hereditary causes of it. Sweating causes of it. We see a lot of patients with eczema. Usually, there's some newer products they call biologics that kind of really have a positive effect on eczema. Very extreme forms of eczema. Some
Hmm.
of them require injections, but it's something that can really get people relief nowadays. It's a lot easier now than it was, say, 10 years ago.
Mm. Now I'm going to ask you this next question. I was having a conversation with some female friends of mine, and uh, I did not realize this was a common issue, but she and her sisters were sharing about having sweating in the breast area.
Hmm.
And one of them was sharing, yeah, I can't stand the way it smells. I did not know that was as common as
Very,
when.
very common. And I see it in men in the groin, women under the breast, and in the groin. And what probably, keeps it going, not only the sweat, but then we have yeast that in, infiltrates that sweat and causes
Mm,
an allergic response on the skin. And that's what gives us the odor and the change in the skin texture sometimes. And we treat that with anti-yeast medications and creams and steroids, and usually
okay.
can give it some resolution.
One of her sisters says she it makes her itch.
Hmm.
That
It's very, very itchy, and I usually clear it up with the medication, and then I give them special powders and things like that to keep the area dry, because that's half the battle, is the elimination of the moisture that keeps driving that problem.
okay. Wow. I tell you, Dr. Graves, I need to talk with you more. There's just so much I don't know about our skin. Just so much I don't know. So the main question. Well, no. I have so many. Family, you hear me. I've got about 10 questions left to ask, and we don't have enough time for all the questions that I have. But I am curious to know, what are some of the more common conditions or problems that patients present?
Okay. Standard problems. I have a lot of young patients, primarily with acne, and then they're
Hmm.
not as concerned as of the acne most of the time than of the dark spots, which we call post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. Our skin pigments or increases pigment in areas where the acne occurs. So
Hmm.
I'm always debating and having conversations with my patients about, we have to treat the acne first before we get rid of the discoloration, because if you don't treat that, the discoloration will continue. And that's a very common problem. You mentioned eczema is another one. That's
Right.
that's the other extreme, very dry skin. I see a lot of psoriasis, uh, alopecia, which is hair loss. But
Ah.
as alopecia is, there's many types of alopecia. There's hormonally driven alopecia, alopecia areata, which is more of an autoimmune disease. There's chemical alopecia from various chemicals we use, traction from pulling. So I see a lot of those types of hair loss, as well as hair loss related to lupus and
Mm.
other skin diseases. Um, the acne keloidalis you mentioned, the pseudofolliculitis barbae, which is the bumps on the face.
Hmm.
Besides moles that are constantly changing, and we're removing a lot of those, and also keloids. I have people who get the ears pierced or have a surgery and they have overgrowth of scar tissue. So we're addressing a lot of those issues as well. Those are probably the most common, but there are, some other ones that crop up. I'd be mentioning names that sound foreign, but we see a lot of those as well.
I recall you mentioning about the when I asked you about the bumps, talking about keloids, and you were saying you were explaining how the keloid can form there. So I didn't realize there were like several different ways that keloids can form, or reasons, I should say.
Right. You mentioned the acne keloidalis, but I have patients who are really sensitive who just have an acne bump on their chest or back, and that grows into a keloid. That acne bump forms a cyst and then scars. And some folks who have very, very sensitive skin to keloiding, they get it just from. So if you just prevent the acne from occurring there, you can prevent other keloids from forming. But most keloids come from some kind of trauma or cutting or laceration of the skin, and then the keloid will come as a result of that. Ear piercing is a common offender because we're punching a hole in the ear, that creates a little scar. Most people heal very, very normally with that, but there's some people who just develop large keloids that occur after that. So it's just, people know who have keloids, they'll know what to avoid and what not to do. It comes with time.
That is all so interesting to me. Family, it's time for us to take another break. And I'm looking at the time. I'm looking at the time. We have to let Dr. Graves go shortly, but not just yet. Not just yet. We're going to take a short commercial break, but stay with us because we'll be right back.
Words of empowerment.
Oh, I am Vera Portier, and I am the founder of Every Heartbeat Counts. Yes, younger generation, please. Life is short. Love one another. Take care of one another. Advocate for one another. Be kind. We're better together. We are better together. Talk to your parents. Reach out to somebody in 100 Black Men. You are loved. I know you feel like we're a little disconnected. I'm willing to talk to you and connect with you and just get on the same wavelength. We love you.
This is Words of Joy and Empowerment on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Audio provided by Love Now Media. These Words of Joy and Empowerment are brought to you by Wells Fargo, Mainline Health, and the Pennsylvania Lottery. Word Radio Digital Tip of the Month with Stephanie Humphrey is brought to you by Comcast.
Voice cloning is one of the latest artificial intelligence scams happening right now. You might get a phone call that sounds like a family member telling you that they've been kidnapped and need money, or maybe you get a call from someone claiming to be from your bank telling you that your account has been compromised. Either way, the conversation sounds perfectly real and legitimate. So what do you do if you get one of these calls? First, hang up and call the person back or text to verify the call. Have a code word that only gets shared among family members that you can ask the caller for. Ask for a customer service number and never give any personal information to someone on a call you didn't initiate. Unfortunately, anyone's voice can be cloned, and the technology is getting more sophisticated every day. So it's up to us to be even more aware of the potential for scams. Stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
Walking into the building for the first time after the shooting, it was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. We have one of our family members who is calling. I can't thank you enough for calling us. Hello there, Diane, and welcome to the conversation.
Hi, Carol. I am so excited. I had to calm myself down. But you have the best guest on. He's the number one dermatologist in the world, okay?
I happen to think so too.
He treated my family, and some of my family members gone, but he treated my family, and he did a great job. My son's 34 years old, and he did. My son had a bad case of asthma. I hope I'm saying it right. And my son is dark skinned, and my son's face was almost red. That's how bad it was. I took him to Dr. Grave, and guess what? His face was all right. I only took him to Dr. Gray one time. He gave me this ointment, and my son ain't had no problems since. Dr. Gray, I want to say hi to you. I'm so sorry. I'm just over.
Thank you. How are you?
I am excited. I'm the peppermint lady. I came to your office a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
thank you.
Yeah, he is the best. You hear me? You can't find no other person better than Dr. Vaughan Gray. He treated most of my family. I remember him when he was on Germantown. Up in Germantown. His office was so full we had to sit on the steps. But he is the best. You hear me? He is the best. Yes,
Let me tell you, I was sitting on the steps with you. Yeah, I was out there too. Thank you so much.
And I had a problem with burning because I'm blind, right? And I burn myself all the time. And my arm hurt so bad because I went to Dr. Gray, and guess what? The ointment that he gave me stopped that pain on my arm, and I had other issues too. But I'm doing better. So, Dr. Gray, I'll see you again in 6 weeks. God bless you, my doctor.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the kind words.
So sweet. Oh my goodness. The peppermint lady, she said. That was Diane. She said, I'm the peppermint lady. That is the sweetest thing. That was a hug. That's what that was. I do want to share that Pepper is asking a question on our socials. Pepper is asking, what about microblading your eyebrows? Pepper, I don't even know what that is.
That's fine. It's a lot of folks are doing it now and tolerating it very well. So there's no negative. If she's asking, is there a negative for it? No, unless you have, you get a reaction to it or you're irritated with, but also just make sure you have the right person that's an expert at doing it, and you should have no problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what is microblading?
It's a way of cutting the eyebrows or shaping the eyebrows with blade technique. Yes.
Ah, okay. So it's not like threading or anything. It's not
No. But it's some people do use different techniques for it. They use blades, and sometimes they thread it as well. But it's all kind of under the same conglomerate of things that are done.
Okay. Yeah. So now this is so wide and general, but I'm going to ask you if you have any suggestions for best skin practices.
Best skin practices. Just know what skin type you have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you have, everybody is unique and different. Some, people think that I must moisturize my skin or I must do this. I've learned on TV this person looks good and they use this moisturizer. Well, that moisturizer you may use may break you out. Because your skin is oily and you're adding oil to your skin and you're breaking yourself out. So I think the best approach to skin, if you're having problems, you can't figure it out, see a dermatologist so he can at least tell you or point you in a direction. You may not continue with the creams or lotions that he gives you, but once you have a concept of what kind of skin you have, you can kind of tailor what products you buy in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Common things that we look for, like for people who have oily skin, are products that say non-comedogenic. They don't clog your pores or oil-free. So if you have dandruff of your face, flaking around your nose, I have a lot of patients that come in and say, "Oh, my skin is dry," but actually we know that those flaky areas around the nose and the eyebrows are a manifestation of your oil glands making too much oil and causing flakes. Well, of course, if you think it's dry, you're going to put the oily products on there and make it worse. So that's just one example of things that uh, look like one thing but is another. So you really want to be clear on what kind of skin you have, and that's probably the best approach. If you're steadily doing things and you're doing fine, not having any issues. Some people have no skin problems at all. Continue doing what you're doing, but if you're having any issues at all, see a dermatologist. At least get some direction.
See Dr. Graves. That's who you did. See Dr. Graves. Well, one last question for you. I have read, well, no. I'm not read. I want to know hyaluronic acid. I hear that all the time in advertisements. I see it all the time in advertisements. Is that good for our skin, for skin of people of color?
For some people, they do very well with it. Some people get irritated from it; and they can't use it. But
Okay.
it's a product that helps your skin exfoliate. It removes old and dead skin from you, just like salicylic acid is another product that people use. Some people can use it, some people can't. Lactic acid. There's a lot of different products out there, but I would say if you're thinking about trying a hyaluronic acid product, just go at a low strength, a low percentage first, and work your way up, because there's some strengths that can be very irritating for you if you use it incorrectly.
That makes sense.
A lot of the chemical peels are made with hyaluronic acid or sal acid or phenol or different things. So they are good products.
Okay. Well, Dr. Graves, once again, I want to thank you for your time, your energy, your attention, your spirit, and for your knowledge, for sharing your knowledge with us.
And thanks for having me.
Thank you. No,
Thank you.
really, and we hope you'll come back to visit with us again.
I'll be glad to. Just let me know. You won't have to track me down anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. No, thank you.
Okay.
All right. So we will see you next time, Dr. Graves. Have a great evening, a great rest of your evening. We'll see
And
you
you have
next
a
time.
wonderful day. Okay.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Family. OMG. I do want to acknowledge Joey said this is a great segment. Thank you. Thank you, Joey Dixon. Sandy Thomas is checking in. Hi, Sandy. Sending you love right back. You hear me? And my cousin June. Hey, June. She said, hey, good evening, Caroline. I know that's right. Family. Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Do you hear me? As we wrap tonight's episode, I'm thanking you. I'm sending you my love as always. You know, I tell you that I love you because I truly do. I love you, but God loves you so much more. I need you to put that in your pocket. That's what I need you to do. But I do appreciate you. Thank you to all of our guests, to Brio, to Dr. Graves, just for sharing time, energy, space, knowledge, and attention with us. Thank you to the entire WURD family, especially Niall Jax and Nick Steptoe, for all that you do. I so appreciate you. Family, just remember, we are all in this together. You hear me? We are all in this together. So be good to you. Be so good to you, but also be good to those around you. Have a great rest of your night, family, and be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Have a good night, y'all. I love you.